car now is really a work of art.
It's amazing, you know, to be part of the Red Bull family. The level of engineering inside this team is very impressive.
They are often the fastest team when it comes to pit stops.
Do we want to fight for the championship?
That's typical Max. He'll fight every inch.
I just can't wait to get started.
Oh, guys, what an amazing race. Oh, thank you so much. Also, everyone, back at the factory, this is what you get when, you know, you keep pushing.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Sir Meerkat, and welcome back to the Moto Meerkat channel, and welcome to another livery reveal stream. Now, can we firstly just say, before we get on with the rest of the stream, a massive fuck you to Red Bull. Can we all get fuck you Red Bull in the chat? I'm joking. But what is this? I'm just sat here, right, POV, Moto Meerkat sat here at his desk doing work. I'm doing uni work for today, waiting for what I thought would be the reveal at 7 PM, like it said on their website. Join us at 7 for the reveal of the family or whatever. So I was like, okay, perfect, I'll set up the stream for then. I'm sat here doing work, and then I look at my phone, 30 minutes ago, F1 Addict just posted the livery. I was like, what? I'm looking at it, I was like, oh, they've just released it. Like, with nothing. They didn't set up a date, they never... Anything. I was like, what the fuck? So especially, well, firstly, just for anyone that cares. Surely you think they'd be like, let's like hype it up a little bit. But no. I understand, yeah, the livery is exactly the same. Like, let's be real, if you've seen it already, it's exactly the same. But still, like, it's still a livery reveal for a new year, man. It's still a livery reveal. So, make some fun of it. But yeah, I've literally had to jump, so like, sorry, I was planning this whole stream for later. I just had to suddenly jump on and sort of give my thoughts and opinions on it immediately. This is, I'm not going to get up from the chair, but this is the first time I've done a stream without any trousers on. I'll leave that up to your imagination. Don't. But yeah, I just literally, as quick as I could, jumped stuff on, and obviously then had problems with my editing software as well. Sorry, streaming software as well, so I was having difficulty with that, and then, oh my goodness. But right, I'm going to switch it over to the other screen, which has the photos on. There we go. So there it is. The Red Bull for the 2021 season. I guess I can move a bit closer to the camera now in this section, because it's not so large and overpowering. And we got all you guys down. Oh, I always forget which side to look. There's your messages. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well today. And then down here, oh, and up here, this is so cool. It's the new Red Bull car. But yeah, literally, like, it's just the 2020 car. As some of you were saying in the chat, I did see earlier, a couple of people were saying, like, they didn't even know if it was the 2020 car or if it was just, like, if it was just the 2020 car, or if it actually was for this new year, if it was a new car or not. That's how bloody similar it is. Like, it's just, again, to reiterate, we knew shit was going to be the same this year, but at least put a little bit of effort in, like AlphaTauri and Alfa Romeo did do a bit of redesign, to be fair, but mainly just like inverting the colours. And then the McLaren was practically the same with like a few subtle differences that made it like a little bit nicer. Like, it felt like a move forward. And even though they had it as the MCL 35M, as like, to say it's not really a new car, it's kind of just a improvement on the last car, at least we could visually see some of that improvement as well. On this Red Bull, you really can't. I haven't had the proper time. I literally saw it and jumped straight on stream, so I haven't had the proper time to look in detail at it really, in comparison to the last year car anyway. But from the glance, it looks very, very, well, the same. Let me get up the 2020 Red Bull car so I can see if I can put them like side by side and maybe see some differences. But equally, oh my god, I just got up the last year one. I wasn't sure if that was this year one or last year one. It's the same photo in the set. Oh my god, it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. Okay, I found a difference. So on the side of the car, on the side of the side pod, and sort of on the cockpit as well, where the legs go, you've got a red line going across the side, And on the one that you can see on the screen, you can see that the red line goes all the way down past the driver's head and connecting into the Honda logo. Last year, that was broken up by the Aston Martin logo, but of course this year they no longer have the Aston Martin logo. That is literally it. Then apart from that is literally just the moving of the Aston Martin logos to be replaced by Honda on the rear wing now instead of Aston Martin. Does not look as good with Honda on the rear wing. Definitely does not look as good. Honda's not quite the brand that Aston Martin is it? But apart from that, it is no different. It is exactly the same. So I think the first thing we have to say is, don't get me wrong, I don't think it's bad. I think that the Red Bull logo from last year was very nice as well. And their cars have always been the one on the grid that's been very, very similar. But as someone mentioned earlier, I can't remember who it was. I do apologise. But someone did say earlier in the chat that, oh my goodness, there's 23 people watching now. Hello, everyone. How is everyone? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a stream out for Red Bull. They just kind of released their video. So if you're coming to see kind of a live reveal, there wasn't really one. It's kind of just me giving my opinions now. But I forgot even what I was going to say now before then. I got so thrown off by so many people joining. I was going to say, someone had said something in the chat, hadn't they? What had they said? Someone had said... Glad to said the intro never gets old. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, Xhaka said Aston Martin gone. Literally, that is it. That is it, mate. Yeah, I saw this on Checo's Instagram anyways. Yeah, literally, people have seen it already. Yeah, because I was expecting there to be some kind of reveal, but no. Canberra as well. How is Moto not on 4K by now? It's 30 subs away. Thank you, mate. I don't know. Everyone make sure you subscribe down below. You know you want to. Yeah, closing up on 4K, mate. Closing up. But yeah, the cars are revealed. But yeah, as I was saying, like the Red Bull's very nice, and that's what I was going to say. Someone had said in the chat earlier about how, like, we know that the Red Bull is going to be very similar every year. We know it's going to be the same paint job, the same kind of design. That's how they like to keep it. But we always get a kind of testing livery, at least to be like, oh, look at least they kind of go like, oh, look at what we could do, but nah, we're gonna stick with our thing. But like that looked pretty cool, didn't it? At least we kind of get that insight and that kind of funness. But we didn't even get that this year. It was just boring as fuck. So whatever. I'm a bit deflated by this one. It's just not brilliant, is it? It's just the same as last year. I'll go on to my, if you guys haven't seen the previous streams, I've got 5 different rankings that I do for each car that then make a full ranking out of 50, and then obviously they will then be ranked against each other out of 50 at the end of, once they're all sort of revealed, and then on my Instagram and Twitter, I'll then sort of post what I think and those rankings of the cars, and yeah, we'll compare them to what you guys think. I'll go through those in just a second, but some more people saying things in the live chat. Hunky Pony's here. Hello, Hunky Pony. How are you doing today? Hope you're doing well. Wearing smart shorts. Sadly, no smart shorts for me today. Yeah. We're not going to even go into more detail on that. TGSF1's in here. Hello, matey. Oi, oi, it's nice. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Always subtle changes, but always looks good. Really? I don't think there's even any subtle changes on this one, mate. The McLaren had subtle changes. This has nothing. The only difference is, like, some of the logos have been removed and added depending on people leaving and joining the team. That's all that's happened. So, I disagree with you, TGS, mate. They're boring as fuck. Like, they could have at least put a tiny bit of effort in. Aero-wise, there's not much difference as well. I'm not the most technical man, so I can't really talk to you about aero and things like that. But I'll believe you on that, Formula Jason, mate. Oh no, that wasn't Formula Jason, was it? It was Schweths. Formula Jason then said, I think they changed the aero of the front wing. Have they? Okay. Quite the possibility. I'm sure they must have changed something. They want to upgrade the car at least a little bit. People still thinking there was a poll on, I think it was like motorsports.com story yesterday, and it was like, can Red Bull beat Mercedes this year? And it was like 60% yes, 40% no. People out of their minds. They're not going to win. They're not going to win. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it's not like being optimistic. Like, oh, Meerkat, you're so pessimistic. Can't you just like dream that they might? Like, yeah, you can dream, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. They will never be close enough. They will never be close enough to get that. I'm sorry. I mean, if they somehow did it this year, I would look like a right tit, wouldn't I? But I'm sorry, I can't see it. Oh, that's an alarm to tell me to post about the podcast coming out tonight. I do need to do that. Right, I need to reset that alarm or I am going to forget that. Right, let's stick that back an hour for me to post about the podcast. Got a new podcast coming out tonight. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that. 5 PM tonight. ChatterBox podcast with Charlie Kimball, the IndyCar driver. So make sure you watch out for that. Hunky Pony. At least no Rich Energy here. That's very true. That's very true. I think that's one of the few cars we knew it wouldn't be on. We could safely say it wasn't going to be on the Red Bull car. Formula Jason, I see Telcel. Yeah, they're one of the main sponsors of Sergio Perez, aren't they? So yeah, making an appearance on this new car. Whereabouts had you seen it? You got Claro on the rear wing, just above the SO. Yes, on the front wing. There we go. The front wing on the inside of the end plate on the front wing. You can see Telcel as well. So yeah, they've really just kind of squeezed in some new sponsorships and taken out, obviously, the Aston Martin of old. And that's about it. Really, isn't it? GT Amaxi, hello, how are you? I'm doing very well, thank you, sir. How are you? Camber, can't wait for our video with Sir Meerkat coming out at 2 PM. Wow, only in 2 hours. Make sure you go to Camber F1's channel to watch that very, very soon. Wash Discloth, Max Verstappen 2021 F1 World Champion. You're chatting shit, mate. You're chatting utter shit. No way is that ever going to happen. I think Max could be a champion in the future. With Red Bull, maybe. Obviously, it's difficult to say after the 2022 rule change of how things are going to then stack up after that. But it's not going to be like the biggest changes in the world. So possibly, but never know. Yeah, as perspective, hello, my good sir. Welcome to the stream, buddy. They'll never beat Mercedes. They just won't. At least this year, as I'm saying, with the rule change, we never know what that's going to bring. But this coming year, not a chance in hell. I'm sorry. The Red Bull or Max Verstappen will be able to take any kind of world championships. Not a chance. So yeah, I think that's pretty safe to say. Thank you, Hunky Pony. I'm glad you're doing well. Dadapotamus. To be fair, I think Red Bull know their livery works for them, so that's what I don't think changes are made. Yes, no, exactly. Their livery completely works for them. It's kind of like how we say with other older liveries that we look back fondly upon, like the Marlboro McLaren, things like that. Things where they didn't change it for ages, but that's meant that over time, it's stuck in your mind and you remember it very fondly, you remember the good moments from it. And we kind of have the same from Red Bull. They've always had that very, very similar look, at least. And the last, 5, 6 years, it's been practically identical, really. Especially, as we say, last year to this year, very much so. But, as you said, they have that brand now. That is their look, per se. I would hope that they would switch it up for the rule change, but again, I don't think they're going to. It's their whole branding, isn't it? It's their whole car branding. So it's fair enough. But I would have liked some little changes, like the McLaren, just some little bits. But yeah, clearly not to happen today, is it? Clearly not to happen. Opinions on Rich Energy after drinking it, says JDM. Well, a couple of people have actually asked me that. I have drunk Rich Energy many times before. I've had it lots before. It just happens to be another shipment that I bought because I like to drink, well, Red Bull with my Jaeger when I'm getting a bit drunk. So I like to have Rich Energy in place of that because it's quite cool, quite memey, isn't it? So quite funny. But if you want to know my opinions on the Rich Energy can, the taste and everything, I have a video on my channel. Oh, it's a while ago now. Maybe about 7 months ago, back on the channel, of me ranking motorsport-related beverages. So, like, drinks that sponsor F1 cars and, like, other motorsport cars and things. I ranked them all and told you what I think. And Rich Energy features in that video, so make sure you go and watch that if you haven't, and if you want to know my thoughts on the Rich Energy God Juice as such. What is? Oh, I always scroll to the bottom when I do that. Xhaka. Alright, I'm going to buy that last year merch for a tenner instead of buying the 2021 merch. I rate that so highly, mate. I rate that so highly. Just buy last year's merch. It's the same. It's fine. Owen's in here. It's a good car. Oh, it is definitely, mate. It is definitely. I just would have liked to see some more changes. Yeah, the Claro Perez sponsor. It's a Spinotto Prime. Red Bull looks very good, says Arsenal. Yeah, does look decent. Still does look decent. John Warren's in here. Hello, my good friend. It's similar. Yes. I'm a big fan of the Honda branding. Really, I just stated how much I didn't really rate it. I prefer the Aston Martin branding on it, if I'm honest. Aston Martin brand has that kind of aura around it, doesn't it? I feel that Honda doesn't really. And they've kind of just filled that space on the rear wing with Honda because they didn't really have anyone else to put there, did they? So, nah. It's a bit meh for me, but there we go. Looks stay the same, just like their performance gap to Mercedes. Yeah, I imagine the performance gap between the Red Bull and the Mercedes will be just as similar as their livery has been. Omar, what little things would you like to change? I don't know. I don't know anything specifically. Just like a kind of mix-up of the design. Where like the base is ultimately the same, but just like smaller parts. So to give an example for such, like on the McLaren that was released earlier this week. Yeah. Or last week? This week? This week? Last week? Last week. Maybe? Last week. Yeah. So yeah, on the McLaren that released last week, how they changed the... with the We Racers 1 on the back, because before it wasn't quite as prominent, whereas now it's got all the colours like proper popping out, and they've moved some of the sponsors around as well, just like slight little changes to differentiate it at least, maybe not even make it better, just to differentiate it. This is exactly the same. Like, this is exactly the same. So, that's all I'm saying, Omar, is like no disrespect, no dislike to the livery, just a bit of change would have been nice, really, in my opinion. Camber, I can amount moto downing Jaegers all night. Thank you, mate. Not actually downing, to be fair. I'm not the best at downing drinks. But I'll literally just make like... this is going to sound really weird. A pint? Yeah, I'll have a pint of Jaeger and Red Bull. So I'll just pour a Red Bull into a pint glass. And then I'll fill up the rest of the pint glass with Jaeger. And then I'll just sit there drinking it. And 2 pints of that and I'm gone. So, easy way of getting drunk for someone that doesn't really like drinking. So, there you go. I just make the car dark blue. Fair. I see that. I mean, as in, do you mean... I mean, it's already dark blue, isn't it? Like, let's be real. So, do you mean the whole thing? Dark blue? Maybe that would be a bit too much. Kind of similar to AlphaTauri. I mean, but Red Bull's always had those 3 colours, doesn't it? Between blue, red, and blue, red, and yellow, sorry. Whereas AlphaTauri's obviously only got the blue and the white. So, and also, you kind of want to keep them the same... You kind of want to keep them... you kind of want to don't keep them the same. You want them to be their separate own brands and such. So, I feel you on that one, though. I feel you. Sergio has had a lot of sponsors. I only see 2 of them. That's very true. He has loads, doesn't he? Perez has been that one where, like, he is quite the pay driver as such, but not from pay from Daddy Perez. Daddy Perez is not minted. Or maybe he might be, I don't even know. But I know he's got loads of sponsors, Perez. So yeah, I wonder where all those are. Maybe you'll see them more on the race suits. Maybe there'll be more personal things rather than brought over to the car. But yeah, I'm not sure. It might have been something to do with the deal that they made. Obviously, it's only a year, so maybe everything didn't quite transfer over as smoothly. I don't know. But yeah, the main ones that he's usually associated with are still there. So, fair enough. Camber saying, oh lord, a pint. Oh lord. Oh lord, a pint. I think they should change their livery to the 2012 one. What was that one like? Because they all look relatively similar. What was the 2012? Okay, yeah, that one's nice. That's not my favourite, mate. I can't lie. I think I feel like... It's nice, it's nice. The 2012 one, there's nice. I quite weirdly liked the ones where it was like kind of based off a can. Like they were a bit ugly, but they had quite a charm to them. If you know what I mean. Like, was it 2010, I want to say? 2010? No, that's too late. Maybe 2008. Oh, no, it's 2018. I'm trying to think of back which one had like kind of the weird designs. Like 2008 is quite ugly but charming. Like things like that. Kind of like 2006 to 9 of the Red Bulls I quite liked, of where they're a bit ugly and a bit slow, but they just kind of have that charm to them, that older charm, which I quite like. But yeah, either way, the new one is nice. I'm gonna run through the rankings now for this car. So I'm gonna bring up the photo and my little file. Nice. Oh, my computer always loves me. Right. There we go. So, what would you guys give out of 50, do you reckon? What do you think? I feel like giving it out of 50 leaves it a bit more open to differentiate between the cars than out of 10 does. That's why I'm doing it out of 5 options. So, what I'm going to be ranking it off of, but obviously, let me know in the live chat, what would you rank it out of 50? I'd be interested to know and see how it then compares to mine that I'm going to bring out now. So the 5, if you haven't seen my previous livery streams, the 5 things I'm going to rank it off are the use of colour, the sponsor logo placement, the overall sort of style, aesthetic of the car, the on-track presence, kind of like how mean it looks, how good it looks in the rear-view mirrors type thing, and then the race suits and team wear, which actually, thinking about that for a second, I don't know what that looks like. So I'm sure that Max or Sergio must have posted something. Let's have a look. See if they have a Well, actually, I haven't even looked at the Red Bull page yet, to be honest, so... They might have them standing by the car or something. Big Chads. No, they don't. They don't. So we don't actually know what their ones look like there, it seems. Yeah, I don't think... Okay. Haha, he did post 1 year ago today. Although, I think... Oh no, he was talking about the jacket as well. Okay, cool. I thought he was talking about just the new hat, which is the Max Verstappen kind of style, but the jacket is also as well. It's exactly the same as last year. Again, realistically, it's exactly the same as last year. Very, very clean, very nice, very Red Bull branding, but yeah, some low scores coming in. Like that, sort of 25, 20, 24, 20, clapped. That's not quite a number out of 50, but there we go. That's your ranking, mate. I respect it. I respect it. Oh, we got some big ones. There you go. 40 out of 50 for Hunky Pony and 43 out of 50 for Omar. Bloody hell. Yeah, not enough small differences. Yeah, fair enough. Make it wow if you know what I mean. Yeah, no, I feel that. I feel that, Omar. I rate that. I rate that. Right, so, out of 10, let's start off. So, the use of colour on the Red Bull. Obviously, the Red Bull colours are very, very nice, but I prefer kind of popping outstanding colours. Like, for example, best example, the Alfa Romeo, yesterday? Yeah. I keep getting mixed up on when the hell everything was. Lockdowns frazzled my brain. Yeah, yesterday when the Alfa came out, that red, oh my god, the red and white, how like shiny it was, how it just like popped out to you was amazing. This one, not so much. It's kind of more, not fully matte as such, but more subdued in how the colours flow and how they move. I like it though, obviously. I like it very much. I like the car last year, and as I've said many times already, it just kind of fits in with the Red Bull branding, doesn't it? So I feel like I can't go crazy high, but I can't go crazy low because I've already liked it. That's what I need to stop, because when I did last year, when I was looking at liveries last year, I didn't quite do these live stream events, but when I was looking at them, I was a bit too critical on the fact that they hadn't changed anything over the fact of how the livery actually looked. So I'm trying not to do that this year, but obviously it does come into it a little bit. I would like to see some changes. So use of colour, obviously on the Alfa Romeo yesterday I gave it an 8.5. It did look banging. The colours on this are very nice, but they're not popping. I do like the mix of red. I mean, red and yellow are some of my favourite colours, and then on the blue background as well always does look very nice. But overall, I like it. I'm going to go with a 7. I think that's pretty much in the middle. Like a decent score, but like not incredible. We'll go with 7.5. I'm feeling nice. I'm feeling nice today for Red Bull. I'm feeling nice. Right, so the sponsor logo placement. Obviously, we said we've lost the Aston Martin, which I think was a lovely addition to the Red Bull. Gave it some kind of class, some British class, and enabled it to do some quite fun things, actually, like we saw the 007 livery a couple of years ago now, where the drivers had the suits, which looked like tuxedos. Very cool, like that kind of stuff, but obviously not going to have those kind of things from now on, which is sad, but we'll definitely be seeing more of that surely with the Aston Martin F1 thing. That would be cool, but anyway. So don't have those. Have the introduction of other ones, such as Claro and Telcel from Sergio Perez, some Mexican sponsors, so the addition of those are quite nice, but overall, aren't too many sponsors on the Red Bull, to be honest. Red Bull have a lot of money anyway, so they don't really need too many sponsors. But what they have done, they fitted in nicely. The ones that were on the car last year, so they got obviously Mobil 1 and Esso, powering like oil and fuel and whatever. Tag, is that how you pronounce it in the French? Tag, on the top, which again, all the colours fit in very pretty nicely. Only thing I would say is the tag is in green and red, so maybe it doesn't fit quite as well, but they put it in a place where it's not too in your face, not really sticking out too much. So that's overall fine again. All I would say is the Claro that's been put in on the top of the rear wing is a bit squished. Apart from that, it's pretty fine, to be honest. It's sound. Nothing really to complain about, so I think I'm going to go with a 7.5 again. Like, fine, standard, sound, good. Very nice, very nice. Overall style, it's got that Red Bull style that we all know, and hopefully all love. It looks very, very nice. Looks great. Very, very mean. Very cool. Good aesthetic. Good style. And fitting of them. So I think staying in the same style puts you up. Like, very cool. Not expanding on it at all kind of brings it down in my assessment a bit. So I'm going to go with a 7 rather than a 7.5 on there. Because I think that's fair enough. Kind of kept the same, but not crazy. On-track presence, the Red Bull does always look mean. But it doesn't quite have that wow factor for me, the Red Bull. It's very nice, very fitting of them, very cool, looks good, but doesn't quite have that whoa, wow. Tag, no tag. We should start that, Omar. We should start that. That's a new thing. No tag, no tag. But yeah, as I say, with the on-track presence just not quite there for me. It never really has for the Red Bull. It's always been nice, decent, fine. So I think I'll go with a 6.5 for the on-track presence. Pretty cool, but I think the AlphaTauri has a bit more of a presence, especially in the rear view mirrors with how the colours change between the white and the blue of that. So I reckon theirs is probably better. And then finally, race suits and teamwear, very clean, the Red Bulls always is. But very boring, pretty dull, like just blue with the sponsors on it. So nothing quite incredible. So yeah, I reckon I will go for a 6.5 on that one as well. So there we go. Very like similar across the board on all five things there. So what's that then? 7, 14, 21, 22, 28, 34, 35 out of 50. So that's the same score as the Alfa Romeo and just less than the AlphaTauri. So all very close at the moment. So far, the McLaren getting 34, AlphaTauri getting 35.5, Alfa Romeo getting 35, and Red Bull getting 35. So there you go. All very similar and all to play for so far. But yeah, all kind of having different sections that they're a bit better in. That Red Bull's kind of the most boring, I'd say, so far, most similar to last year, which hence why all of the ratings were quite similar, because there wasn't really anything to kind of make it stand out at all. The other ones had more standout qualities, but then, say, like with Alfa Romeo, it looked sweet, looked great, it gave it big scores, but then the teamwear looked shocking. It didn't really look good, so that brought it down a lot as well. So we're still waiting on a team to knock it out the park and really do a solid and absolutely just go for it for this year, for the new style, new livery, new stuff. And to be honest, I'm still most excited for the Aston Martin one. To be quite honest, I'm so excited for how that's going to look. And I do think if they don't make a massive fuck up, it's probably going to be at the top of my list. If it's just like looking very nice, it's a new thing, new teamwear, new vibe, new everything, I'm looking forward to that one. But I think that's next week, isn't it? I believe. So we've had this one that Red Bull have managed to massively fuck up because they're dickheads. So we've had to have this stream that was just randomly at any kind of random time. But there we go. It's okay. When's the next one? Oh, we haven't got another one this week. Oh, no more releases this week. How sad. So the next one is Alpine and Mercedes next Tuesday. So a week today until we see the new one. But there we go. We're going to have a little bit of a wait now. How very sad. But you will see me in 1 week on another live stream to look out. I believe the Alpine one's first, but maybe the Mercedes. I can't remember. Either way, you'll see me for 2 streams on that day. Jeez, 2 streams. But don't worry, there's loads of content from me in between now and then. Obviously, tonight, as I said earlier, 5 p.m. this evening, I've got a new ChatterBox podcast episode coming out with Charlie Kimball, about an hour long. So he gave me a lot of time to chat with him. Super great insight, answered loads of your questions, was an all-round lovely bloke. So I'd highly recommend you tune in later on today or later on in the week, whenever you get time to sit down and give that a little listen. Obviously, you can also watch that on Spotify, or sorry, not watch that, listen to that on Spotify. Links to the Spotify are in the description, or any other little podcast site that you use. It should be on there as well. If it's not, drop me a message on social media and I can try and get that sorted for you so it's best for your listening pleasure. But there we go. That's about all from me today, to be honest, everyone. Thank you all so much for jumping on another livery reveal stream. A little bit more of a boring one, a little bit more of an unexpected one, but there we go. I've enjoyed my first ever stream not wearing trousers, and I hope you have too. So, again, thank you for joining me, and yeah, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday, and I will see all of you Meerkats later. Goodbye, guys. Ciao. See ya.